So it's Friday again, and it's early morning. It's nice and cold. I like the cold. This is going to be a multi-part video. It's going to be long. I'm going to try and keep the segments short so that you don't get bored to death while watching them. But I would encourage you to take note of what is going to be said, because the political situation that we have here locally is more than dire. It's ridiculous, in fact. Yeah, it's quite ridiculous. I suppose that this shouldn't be of any interest to anyone that doesn't live in the area. But then again, maybe it will be, because perhaps this is a general global political problem, and you can translate it into your own local conditions, and maybe it'll give you some food for thought. I don't know. Anyway, here's the thing. We have a political situation where the ward councillor is not doing what he's supposed to be doing in terms of what the people are seeing. He's not listening to the people. He's not communicating with the people. I've had multiple meetings with the party from which he comes, and or that he's adjoined to, and his superiors, and some of them. And I would now suggest that all of you that I've met with and spoken about, send this video to those people further up the tree in that political party. You know, one of the reasons that or the primary reason why I voted for this particular party in the last by-election was because the alternatives were non-existent. The rational alternatives were non-existent. And let's go back a step. I think most people don't actually give a damn about politics. I think most people are just quite happy to get on with life, do what they do, eat, sleep, work, repeat, pay tax, eat, sleep, work, repeat. They're all too happy to give that responsibility of creating a society to someone else, because it's a big job. And of course, over the centuries, of course, people who see opportunity in being given opportunity by other people take advantage of that. So we have a situation where we've got a bunch of politicians that are doing things, or rather not doing things the way they should, the way they say they will, and there's continual excuses, and the situation is just, it's no good. However, the problem is created by the people. Let's get that straight. It's an annoyance, but it's the truth. And it's done out of lack of interest. It's done out of everyone believing that they must just get on with their lives and survive. That's the thing that's been created. The idea has been fostered by politicians for their own gain. Now, one of the problems is with politicians is that they get into the positions that they do, sometimes for the right reason. In fact, I think probably often for the right reason. They go forth and they have all these great ideas, and need to go and mete out some justice and go and make things better, which is great. Except it doesn't seem to last very long. Once they're in the system and they realize that the system is broken to the point that it is, they seem to look at it and develop this idea about, or this outlook of, well, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's human nature, I suppose. But then that also speaks to the character of the people that do that. So beware of that. Now, We have a situation where across the entire ward, and Ward 25 is enormous. It is, I think it's the biggest ward in the municipal area. We have a situation where many people from multiple communities across the ward are very unhappy because of the lack of communication. And again, let me preface this piece by saying that we understand that the situation is what it is. The political system, or the situation that's been created in the council and the municipality and all of that, and the way the system has been broken, mutated, bastardized, whatever, you can put any negative connotation or label that you want on it. It doesn't actually matter. It's been stuffed up. So we understand that that's a problem, but we now have someone in there that is doing the polar opposite of what needs to be done. And I have given a lot of thought to recording this, and I've spoken to a lot of people over many weeks to gather their feelings and to examine whether or not it's just me being angry at stuff, which it doesn't seem to be. Although I suppose I could be like the majority of the people out there and get angry about stuff. But it doesn't seem to be that. What it does seem to be is that there is a common view throughout the multiple communities that make up this ward that the situation we have with the ward councillor currently is very negative and is beyond repair. It does not seem to be. Let me change that. That's my opinion. It's beyond repair because you know, my shit filter is pretty good, and when someone stands in front of me and nods and smiles and then goes away and does something else, when they've agreed to do something but they're doing something completely different, then of course the alarm bells start ringing. And when you do that multiple times, man, do I take notice. So I think it's actually beyond repair. How do we fix it? I'm not entirely sure, but I want to examine that in this series of videos. I can tell you this for sure, and this is actually the primary message that needs to get further up the tree in this party. Let's talk about it. It's the DA, obviously. This needs to get up to the top, and I invite any of you up at the top of that tree in that political party to talk to me sincerely, because there's a problem here that needs to be fixed, and if you don't fix it, you're out of a job too. Because, you know, you need to consider that the most dangerous guy in the room at any one time is the guy that has got the least to lose. And right now, this community doesn't have much to lose. So you're playing with a thing here. You're not addressing a problem that needs to be addressed, and I'll be glad to be involved in any discussions about that and how you can potentially come back from what is being done. And please believe me, what is being done is very negative. And one of the things that concerns me is that it does take a lot of time and energy to undo the effect of that problem. What is happening now, what has happened over the last 2 months with the installation of this ward councillor, who let's clarify something here, who I suggested to my local community and others that was the only viable alternative to vote for. What is happening since his installation is very negative, to the point where I'm not sure that you are going to recover from the damage that's being done right now. Now, I understand that there's a bit of a communication gap, and maybe the conduit is broken between simple, normal people like me and what the normal people like me see as or how they label them, as the political types, the political elite. Although you might not see yourselves like that, but you need to maybe change your perspective, or look at your place in the whole thing from the perspective of us normal folk down here that keep you employed, actually, that pay taxes and rates and keep everybody, the people that keep perpetuating the problem. That's the reality. You need to look at it from our perspective. Now, I actually made the comment the other day that if I didn't know any better, I would think that the guy that you have doing the job now is actually on the payroll of the opposition party. Because if it was me wanting to really bugger up the chances at the next election of being voted for your party, I'd employ a guy like that. I'd put him in there and say, go on, do what you do. That's how bad it is. Clearly, you guys haven't got the message. Or if you have got the message, you don't want to talk about it. That's even worse. Because that makes one consider a level of subterfuge that is bordering upon evil. So, I think I'll stop this now. It's getting long enough. Well, it's getting too long, actually. But I invite you, any of you people in that DA hierarchy, to talk to me about it. And I have spoken with a number of you, and a number of you have expressed concerns. I think you are aware of it. But I encourage you to talk to me about it, because there are a group of us that will talk openly and plainly about it. Not beat around the bush. We're not handing out marshmallows here. We just want to fix a damn problem. It's that simple. So I want to encourage you to actually engage with me and the others that you're going to see on the follow-up videos from this, because I am going to hopefully give you enough evidence of the way that people feel to make you take it seriously. Please believe me, it's a serious problem. It needs to be addressed. If you do not see it as important enough to address, then you are part of the problem. That's a topic for another video. I think you are part of the problem, but let's solve one problem at a time. Yeah. Hopefully the sun comes out later and makes everything nice.